If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. Right, hi, and welcome back to Mörk Borg, game 3 of the day. This is my third game. This is J-Wall's second game, because he's as crazy as I am. Well, nearly as crazy as I am. There's something I've got to look at, because I've been told to look at it. So, let's throw this in chat. I dread to think what it is. It's going to be some form of abuse of some sort, because, you know, that's how everyone works here. So, let's see what this is. Add source. Web page. Okay. Oh shit, why is that not working? Well, that's not working very well.
Can you expand it?
Okay, it didn't work. Right, I'll go over to here then. Facebook. No, it's YouTube, isn't it?
It's YouTube, yeah.
YouTube. Nice blank screen that we're looking at. Add source. Screen capture. How everyone gets to see what I watch on YouTube. This is fantastic. Right, and then I need to go.
Just paste it on in there.
Where is it? It's in here, isn't it?
It's in the
Copy
chat
that.
on Zoom. Yeah.
Right, here we go. Abuse time.
Hello and welcome to
Can
Bud's.
people hear it?
Well, apparently I'm a birthday card reviewer now, where I give my opinions on birthday cards. Today's review is James Chambers of Chambers of Roleplay's 40th birthday cards, as provided by Scott of Hale Orcus Dorcas fame. Okay, first a bit of history.
Nerd.
James Elizabeth Chambers recently hit the milestone of 40, though he doesn't look a day past 39, and if I'm honest, I'm not sure he's counting all the time he's slept. Okay, to the bundle I received. For some bizarre reason, Scott sent me 2 of the same note where he talks about COVID craziness, American recycling culture, and the eco footprints of such cards, which he assures me that he drove to the post office in his 8-litre SUV. He's also included what can only be described as a note of chicken scratch, in which he has attempted to write in some bizarre form of British standard print. He has, however, not delivered on this, failing the Queen and causing all of the UK to tut in unison. Right, to the first card. The cover art is either of a joyous young girl celebrating her birthday or a particularly rambunctious Scot, which is indicated by the artist's notation that it is a kilt, not a dress. To the inside. Here we have what appears to be a peculiar editorial decision, whereby the description that Taylor has a poopy butt has been discarded with the notation that he made me cross it out. Who is he, and did he decide that she's still a poopy, angry face? We may never know. It bears the now familiar invocation, what sparkles and shimmers with every twirl, a truly adorable 40-year-old man, which I feel sums up James in ways as yet not envisaged by most, particularly as I'm genuinely unconvinced that he actually has legs. Again, we have a strange editorial decision where the author has decided that not Taylor but James is our very big boy now, and that his birthday is as special as he is. Delightful. There is further addendum, where a piece has been added that James's friends and patrons in the UK, USA and those other countries are mentioned, that has been done in a way that assures us of dangerous colonial thinking. Additionally, it mentions American greetings, which further demonstrates the USA's tendency to not only police the world, but also birthday cards. A good start. The next card up appears to have undergone a similar editorial treatment, though in fairness, if I had received this card for my 40th, I would have been delighted. To the inside. Here we are presented with a note that lets us know that it has been 9 years and these were the only magnets left, though with Iron Man, Black Widow, and what is clearly Thor with Captain America's head taped on top being present, one could hardly be disappointed. I mean, Captain America's best bit is his face, isn't it? The notation herein shouts from the rooftops that being amazing is kind of your thing, aka James, and that they hope that their big superhero has an awesome day, and Mommy and Daddy has been crossed out and replaced with your patrons from the UK, USA, yada yada yada. Originality was clearly not the author's strong point here. Moving on to the final card, we have a simple yet classic design where the party blower is shouting, "Blow me!" with quite an angry face, which leaves one wondering where this anger is coming from. This card appears to be actually fit for purpose and contains the assertion that it is a party horn and that blowing it is how it works, and accuses the reader of being a pervert for thinking otherwise. But it does leave me puzzled as to why the party horn would make such a frankly aggressive assumption on not only the thought process of the reader, but also what unproven deviances they may or may not have. All in all, Scott has simultaneously failed to deliver on his promise and succeeded in delivering something suitable. The cards are a repurposed mess of scribbled out terms, poor editorial decisions, sad art and downright rudeness that I would not recommend to anybody. However, I still give them a better score than 1,000 Thrones and would equally rather read them again than endure the waking nightmare that was Tomb. I give them a 40 out of 10. If James would like to receive these cards in the mail, then he should probably drop me his address in a message. However, I would be equally at home throwing them in my chimney and burning them while cackling loud enough for my neighbours to eventually call the police. It's really up to you. If you enjoy what I produce here, yeah, whatever, you know the drill. Bud out.
That was good.
Oh my god, that was fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god. I can hear my wife downstairs rolling.
Thanks. Thanks, bunch of bastards.
A very happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday, buddy.
When did you plan? How did you plan it? When did you start this bollocks?
Ooh.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
Yeah. When you kind of said it was going to be your birthday, it's like most things happen. They start, small. They start small and they just, kind of just, explode or, roll down the hill until it finally hits a village, killing dozens of people. So,
Or a couple of birthday cards and superheroes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
You are welcome, James. Very happy birthday. So
Thank you,
we'll
bud.
make sure that you're not the first one dead in Mörk Borg.
Well, maybe.
And thank you, Bud. That was spectacular. I hope everyone got a excellent laugh out of that as much as I did. So that's
Yeah, wow, that was fantastic. Bud, you went over the top, buddy.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
All right. So can we top that?
Maybe you guys will have a spectacular death. I don't know. Should we play some Mörk Borg? So I can butcher the name a bazillion times tonight. All right. Let's
Moving on.
do this. Yeah. You guys
Yeah.
want this? All right. All right. We are going to play Mörk Borg. This is James's third game of the night, right? Birthday boy. All right. Okay, so for everybody in Twitch land, we are going to start in media res, as this is meant to be a one-shot. So some things are going to be a little streamlined and omitted from the rules, but we are still going to generally use the rules as written. So if you're unfamiliar with Mörk Borg, join the rest of us. I've run it once, and Pookie here has played it once, and everybody else, this is their first shot at it. So are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Indeed.
All right. So if you guys have read the little preamble that I had posted on Discord. You
Oh
guys
no, I
can
didn't.
go-
I didn't read that shit.
Thanks.
Did you want to read it out, Keith, for everyone's, but for James's benefit?
I guess I could.
I'll read it.
Well, it is long, so we could sit here with dead air, or James can read it out loud.
The king's son is missing and reported to be held captive
No,
in
James,
an.
don't read it out. Don't read it out. I'll sum it up. You guys are tasked with finding the king's son at a place called the Accursed Den, in lieu of swinging from the end of a rope in a noose, because you face execution as for heretical theft. So you are being offered a chance at life, should you succeed. If you don't succeed, well, obviously you've either run away like a scared chicken or you died in the process. Either way, nobody really cares. But the king wants his kid back. So that is kind of the preamble in a nutshell. All right, so let's get started. For 3 hours, you've traveled in the back of an open-air cart, jostled about in the brisk air. Your driver is a man of few words, and the few he does utter are no more than grunts. You know you're getting close to the den as daylight wanes. The cart comes to an abrupt stop, and you clamber out onto the road, watching as the cart continues on its way. From here, you must walk the remaining miles. Referencing your hand-drawn map once more, after several miles, you find you have arrived. Before you is a steep flight of stone stairs that descends underground, at the bottom of which you can see a flickering light illuminating the last few steps and casting shadows about. It is here that your salvation and freedom may be granted. Welcome.
I look back on the man in the cart and say, well, that was the best conversation I've had in weeks.
Yep, it is the best conversation you've had in weeks. He was just nothing but grunts. Let me slide you guys over here. Map's gonna change. There you go. There should be bottom corner. Yep. And I am gonna reveal some more. Okay, so that is the flight of stairs you see descending down into what you have been told is called the Accursed Den. It is somewhere here that the king's son is being held hostage. So before we get started, I know you guys are relatively new to Mörk Borg, or absolutely new. You don't really know your characters because they are pre-gens, but let's just take a moment for the listening, watching audience to tell them about your characters. Scott, you were playing Knifel, right?
Yep. I am playing Knifel, who is a heretical priest.
Hang on, who you knifing?
What's that? Yeah.
Punny.
Get your digs in now, because Knifel doesn't really put up with a bunch of crap. So, I come from a secret church, the Bergen Chrypt, constantly on the run, being hunted by the two-headed basilisk of the one true faith. I spend a lot of my times doing what needs to be done, raving manically in ruins, wandering down dusty roads, preaching the good word, and, desecrating cathedrals by night. I assume the problem was, though, that I fell asleep in one and was captured, but I take no blame for it, as everyone else belongs to the heretical faith of the two-headed basilisk, so it's all your fault. I don't belong here.
A man's got to have a hobby.
True. Likewise, I am an extremely insecure shit stir. So is Knifel, and you would be used to me talking about shit behind anyone's back as soon as they leave the room. And the other thing is, I've got a hand that's lacking a thumb and an index finger, so I've got me a lobster hand.
Nice. All right.
And the lobster wants it back.
Do you have a knife to knife people?
No, he's got a lobster claw.
Yeah, I've got a femur. Probably, I don't know, someone that, one of your relatives' femur that I intend to knock you in the back of the head again if you question anything about me again. So.
All right, J-Wall, you're playing Killknock.
Yeah.
Give us the down and dirty.
Yeah, I am wretched royalty. So things were going so well for me until my wasteland palace was reduced to rubble. It just happens.
Yeah, proof that shit always rolls downwards.
None of you would understand, though, how deep my sorrow is and just all the pain I am going through as a result of this. You're all peons beneath me. And, I mean, I dare not even look at you most of the time. But you also can't look at me because I'm wearing a mask. I mean, you can look at the mask, but you have no idea what lies under it. I'm a bit deformed. I'm a gambling addict. I unfortunately, well, fortunately for me, I have to bet every day. And if I lose, I have to bet again. I'm in possession of a peculiar dagger as well, wrapped in silk, which I'm sure you'll find out more about soon. I too have a femur, so be prepared for that.
Maybe you can clack them together like femur brothers.
Ooh, it's gonna be a punny game. It is late. All right, Pookie, you were playing Vaughn. Give us the down and dirty real quick.
Vaughn is small, runty, smelly, scruffy, and eyes everyone with a leer, that, which isn't helped by the fact that he's wearing a ragged patch, basically across the other eye, which, if you ever actually bother to get that close to him, gives off a whiff which you wish it wouldn't. Carries a hand axe, and when he's not giving you the eye, clears his throat.
All right. And James, our birthday boy, you are playing Torval. Give us a lowdown on Torval.
So his earliest memories are sleeping with dogs. Don't know what that means. In a corner of an inn, waiting for someone to return. He's only got 30 friends who've never let him down, which are his teeth. Then it descends into some craziness where it says disloyalty, deranged, or simply uncontrollable. Any group that didn't boot you out, you left anyway. But your parliament of teeth, enamoured, protruding thick and sharp, have always been your allies. And it says here, like, I don't really know what I'm looking at, but sure. It says conflicted and suspicious, starved, gaunt and pale, permanent Felgum deposit in throat, so like that.
Nice.
Yeah. See, I can act.
That was good.
Constantly coughs and snorts, spits and swallows. Excellent. So I'm playing me. Brilliant.
He's a hell of a voice actor now.
That actually fucking came my throat. Ow.
All right. So here you guys stand at the top of these this flight of stone stairs going down. There is some ambient light down below. Who would like to go first? The stone stairs are narrow, enough for one to go down at a time. It's not wide enough to go side by side.
Why are we here again?
Hey, Royal Chump.
Yeah.
Does shit go down? Do you want to go first? I want to find out if shit goes downstairs.
Yeah, it's gonna poke him with my femur and say, "Get rolling." God, I can't stand this sniffing and gurgling and whatnot.
Okay. So you begin to descend down the flight of stairs, and the
Who's
others
going down?
kind of.
So I'm confused.
Well, I think we're pushing you or prodding you to go first.
Oh, fuck off.
All right. What are you gonna do then? I mean, let's be clear. Nobody said you guys were friends either.
No, exactly.
You want me to go first?
Well,
Thanks for volunteering.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. If I find any loot, I'll get it then. Yeah. So I'll go down.
Okay. So Torval, you descend down the
And then I'm
stairs.
gonna go and scream out in pain and gurgle a bit.
Did you hear something?
So as you descend down to the bottom of the stairs, you can see before you the others. I presume wait up at the top of the stairs. Before you have your little bit of theatrics, let me lay this out for you. So as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you can see that from the ceiling there is a oil lamp hanging from the ceiling on a chain. There is a ditch running across the room from left to right, east to west, and it is no more than 2 or 3 foot wide at its widest point. A number of butterflies flit and float above it, kind of attracted to the light. The butterflies are from at the bottom of the stairs appear to be black and violet colored, and they just kind of flit around because of the light. To the north, on the other side of this this little ditch, are 2 doors that are partially open.
Okay, cool.
You still gonna do your little bit of theatrics?
Yes,
Okay, so do it.
I did it.
Okay.
So he lets out this little theatrical.
No, they don't know.
kind
They
scream.
Yeah. Well, I
Okay, I look at the others. Could that toothy little shit be in pain right now?
possibly. I can't tell if he's crying in pain or if he's blowing a snot bubble out of his nose. Maybe Quillknock can go down the steps and check on him.
I just turn to you, and you can't see, but I am scowling. I make my way down.
Right, and then
did you feel the fierceness of that stare?
and I said I didn't because it was obviously directed at you. And then I'll kind of turn and just kind of, after Quillknock starts going down the steps, I'll follow, a few steps behind, grumbling to myself, I'm not going to be left here alone with Vaughn.
So as you guys,
it's just me up here, and the company's already improved 100%.
nice. So Vaughn, are you gonna proceed down the stairs as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So as each of you makes your way down the stairs, and you kind of see that same scene I described to Torval. The doors to the north, like I said, are partially open. There is a little bit of light emanating from both of those doorways, and you begin to hear the distant sound of violin music kind of reverberating throughout the den.
Wolf. Oh, look. That's Torval's not dead.
No, Torval is not dead.
Oh, he was
Right.
only he was only faking it.
Yeah,
He's gonna
so
fake it till he makes it.
right. So I mean, are you standing, Torval, or are you actually on the ground faking it?
What? No, I'm standing.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to follow the music. These cretins have no appreciation for anything beyond the dirt that they're standing on. So I'm going to kind of see where the music's coming from.
Well, that's because we know what that is.
Right. So as you approach the ditch, it is filled with water, and it runs from east to west. It's kind of slow and lazy, and every so often you see like a butterfly that is kind of given up the ghost and fallen in the water and just kind of drifts across the top as it floats across and disappears in a hole in the wall on the other side to somewhere else. You can easily step across the ditch. That's not a problem. Now, which door would you like to go through, the left or the right? Both. You can kind of listen one way and listen the other, and you can hear that music from either.
I'll take a peek into the right. I mean, it's ajar, right?
It is.
Okay.
Well, it's a door, to be precise.
That was not a joke, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But technically, that was a dad's joke.
I thought we were told no more. But
Yeah, no
sorry,
more dad
anyways.
jokes. No more dad jokes at all.
No
Thank
dad
you.
jokes tonight? All right.
Yep, no, none at all.
Okay. I will try not to. So as you look into the room, I will do some revealing for you.
On the map. On the map. Just on the map.
Just on the map, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
So as you look through the door, you see a dimly lit room. It's being lit by 2 flickering torches, and you see 2 beds. You see what looks like human skeletons laid out on these beds. From your vantage point of looking through the door, the bones appear to be arrayed in the right patterns. You kind of peek in and you look to the east. You're right. I'm on the wrong thing here. Along that wall there, and you can see that there's this very large bookshelf. You can see lots of book spines laid out vertically, horizontally. There is a slight smoky smell to the air that you kind of attribute to the torches. There's a little bit of like black pitch smoke coming off the torches as well.
Okay.
And there is a cool breeze gently flowing through the room.
All right. I'll turn back and describe what I've seen standing in the doorway. I'll just say if anyone has any interest of poking and prodding in here, but obviously the king's son isn't
you're not my type.
Here. Yes, the king's son isn't in here as far as I'm concerned, but there might be something of a interest or value.
And I did forget to note, I apologize. There is a door on the north wall that is closed.
Right. So Torvald, you want to feel free to step in this room and take a look.
Why you fuck off?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I will turn back and just go, fair enough. And I'll walk into the room and head over to the bookshelf.
Okay.
Saying, well, it's not like he can read anyhow, and see what's on there.
So you look at the bookshelf, and like I said, you see an array of books. The writing on the spines seems to be in a variety of different languages that you cannot really discern.
Right.
Despite your background.
Mm-hmm.
This is just generally obscure texts.
It's not like he's going to be able to pick anything up in that room anyway with that hand.
Oh, God. Wow.
We're not going to make it past room 4.
Yes. But I mean, if you want to rifle through some books, that's fine. I mean, just a quick glance. I mean, you're having a hard time like understanding what the spines say.
Oh yeah, no, I'll just grab a couple that looks fancy, thinking that I can steal it or proclaim it's a holy book and use it to my advantage.
Nice. Why don't you roll me a D4 in the roll 20, please?
Okay. Oh.
Give us our first die roll of the game.
Where did it go? Shoot. There it is. All right, so this is from just the die roller. This is not from the sheet.
Yeah, not off the sheet. Just a straight up D4.
There we go. A 1. 1s are always good.
Okay, so you find a booklet, probably somewhere around 70 or 80 leaflet pages.
Mm-hmm.
The spine is actually bound with a tie, right? So it's kind of folded pages bound with a tie, something you might make in like kindergarten, for mom with recipes, kind of right. That appearance.
Yep.
But inside of it, there is one thing that does jump out at you, and I'm going to have you roll on another table.
Wait,
go ahead and roll me a D10, please.
Mm-hmm.
have found an unclean scroll.
An unclean scroll.
An unclean scroll, and it is the eyelid blinds the mind.
Blinds the mind.
Yep.
So what is an unclean scroll?
I know you own the book, so if you want to look on page 35 of the book, you can see what it does.
It's been used to wipe their bum. That's why it's unclean.
It might.
It's got a skid mark of it.
It's the top half of that page. That's the unclean scrolls.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I think this.
So what is everybody else doing? Well, he's looking at his unclean scroll and making heads or tails of it.
Well, I'm looking in the other room.
Okay. I will tell you what that looks like here in just a second. Knifel, I will need you to make me a powers roll. Okay. So, because you now have a scroll, powers, the way they work is a PC can use their powers, which are scrolls, a total of presence plus a d4 times per day.
Right.
Okay. The roll the total amount every day.
Okay.
So if you look on your character sheet, you should have under the powers section.
Yep. So that.
Let me see. Switch back over. So you can do it twice. You have
Okay.
you have access to that twice today.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. And when you want to do it, then you have to make a presence DR12 test to be able to use it.
Got it. Perfect.
Okay. Unless it says otherwise on the info for the scroll itself.
Right.
Okay. I know what Torval's doing. What is Kilnock and Vaughn gonna do?
So, Torval's going towards that door, and I'm just making sure he doesn't change his mind. I have a dagger to his back. Just nudging him along a bit to that door.
Torval?
Yeah.
Okay. And Vaughn?
I'm going to look at this. I'm going to grab a butterfly and look at it.
Okay. So we'll do the butterfly real quick. So you kind of watch the butterflies, and there's a number of them, like 30 or 40 of them. They're flitting about, and you reach up and you snatch one. They're not moving real fast, and you grab it by the wing, and they're about yay big. They're sizable. Their wings are black and violet. Nice pattern. Think of like a monarch butterfly, but with the different colors. Instead, the bodies are thick, meaty. But aside from that, they look like butterflies. Other than you, topside, you have never seen a butterfly with that color scheme.
Give it a sniff and then let it go.
You give it a sniff, and you're like, looks like it could be a snack in a pinch. Well, yep, you shove that little sucker in your mouth, and it's kind of this tasty, gushy morsel in your mouth.
It's not really a sucker, though. It's a butterfly.
What's that? Anyways, yeah, it's the butterfly is tasty, and as you kind of go to swallow, and you got to kind of like grab like a little bit of the wing and kind of pull it out. But as you swallow, you feel this kind of warming sensation in your throat as you swallow it, and as it hits your gut, you kind of get this kind of quick warming sensation like spread across your midsection really fast and like gentle and fleeting.
Oh.
In a good way. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I know you don't like good things. Okay, Torval. As you go to the other door and peer through, I'm gonna reveal some more of the map to you. You look in on this dining room,
Ah,
dining hall, I should say.
food.
Yes. So the room is warm and bright, although there is the smell of rotten food, meat. There is some kind of rotten odor.
That's all right.
And you
I've
can
hung around
still hear...
I've hung around with knife all day, so you know any smell's better than that.
Well, there is that. You can hear this faint, sad violin music coming from the north.
That's good.
The room is lit by 4 giant oil lamps. Those are those 4 circular things you see on the map. The dining hall table is this big oak wood plank table. It is flanked by 20 chairs all the way around it. And each place is set with a mug, plate, spoons, everything you need to sit and have a meal, except there is no food or drink. At the head of the table to the north, you see an old bearded man sits at the far side of the table. He sits there, he's still and quiet, staring ahead at the door at you. You can see his long white and gray beard. You can see his skin is kind of ash color, and his hooded cloak is old. It is very antiquated in appearance. It is not modern dress that you're accustomed to seeing. And you even think you can even see like a thin layer of like dust on his shoulder.
Is he dead?
From your vantage point, you can't tell.
All right. I would say,
there
are you
is
dead?
a door to the north.
Right.
You can see on the map, and there is a which is closed, and a door to the east on the east wall there that is closed.
Okay. Wow. I'm gonna say to the old man, are you dead?
There's no response.
I'm gonna walk over.
Okay.
Are you dead?
As you walk closer, his gaze doesn't turn and follow you. When you get close enough to him, you know, you're a few paces away. You can see his skin is very ash and gray. There is dust on his shoulders and on kind of flanking the slope.
I'm gonna
of his
push him
hood.
off the chair.
I do have an image for you now that you're close enough. Let me
I want to push him off the chair.
push him off the chair. Yeah, that's it. Show to players. There you go.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna tip the chair over.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you just give me a strength roll. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
So everything in Mörk Borg is a die roll, plus or minus a particular ability's modifier. Modifiers run from -6 to +6, if I remember right. And you're trying to meet or exceed the difficulty rating. Okay. So this is obviously it's a pretty simple to normal. So a 13 is fine. You're able to put your foot up on the arm of the chair and push it over. The chair tumbles over toward the east, to the east, away from you. And as it goes over, the old man spills over, crashes to the floor, and lays there in a heap. He doesn't move.
All right, cool.
Kilnock, what are you doing as Torval's doing this?
So I stayed at the door just watching for a bit. I
Yep,
see him
okay.
push him over, and I quickly rush up to go check his body, see if he's got anything.
It's mine.
Too late, I'm on my way.
It's mine. I'm taking his hood.
So you saunter on over to the old man, and he's laying there in a heap on the floor, next to this kind of ornate chair. And you kind of poke at him and you kind of rifle his robes. And I mean, the robes are, you can see now that as you having fallen over, right, or well, violently pushed over, and jostled about, the fabric is worn, it's old, it's starting to kind of deteriorate. Yeah, I mean, are you trying to loot the body? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking the rope.
As you two argue over looting the body, you don't find anything. He has nothing of any value on him.
I don't care.
His robes at one time may have been something of value.
Yeah, I want to wear his robes. Fine. That's what I want. I want to wear his robes right now.
Yeah, you can strip off his outer robe.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's starting to fall apart. It's showing its age.
Bit like the world then, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm going to wear the robe.
All right. You now have a robe.
Excellent.
Okay. We'll slip back over to Vaughn. Vaughn.
I'm going over to the door on the right.
The door on the right. So that is
which
the
is
room
where Knifle's gone.
Yes. So as you step into that room, you see Knifle looking at this
knife anyone.
Pamphlet type booklet, and kind of intently reading a particular passage from it.
I'm going to have a look at the bodies on the bed.
Yeah, the bodies on the bed are obviously, as I said, they're skeletons. They are, for all intents and purposes, I mean, your best assessment is they are humans. They look to be laid out properly. The arms are where they should be. They're, arms and legs and hands and fingers and toes aren't all intermixed. They seem to be laid out, like I said, properly. Next to in between the heads of both beds as they're arranged on the map, there is a small bedside table. There are some withered flowers in a kind of ornate clay vase. I don't know that I call it a vase. This is Mörk Borg. So it's a vase. But aside from that, nothing really stands out about the skeletons other than...
Surely it should be a vase. If you've got vasen. Vasen?
Are we mixing Free Liga games together now? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, before Vaughn does anything, I'm just going to say I turn my head, see Vaughn looking at the bodies, and go, if you give me a minute, I'll give you privacy, and I'll start making my way to the doorway. So.
Ooh.
Really? Wow. I thought you liked to watch.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, well.
Is there anything else on basically I look at this vase and it's probably too fragile and probably not worth anything. Is there anything else on this bedside table? Anything under it, in it?
No, so it's like a tri-leg kind of come up to a point and then like the round table topper. And then it's got the vase with what was once, flowers. They're drooped over and dried, but aside from that, no.
Is there any water in the vase, in the vase?
You kind of grab it and shake it a little bit, and it's dry. Just the stems rattle.
Okay, so there's no clinking sound or anything like that coming from it.
No, just the stems, the dried stems moving about when you shift it around. That's it.
Okay, I'll look under the beds.
Looking under the beds, you see killer dust bunnies. I mean, you see more detritus. You see bits of debris that it may have blown down the stairs over the years and kind of just drifted in. You do see an animal pelt, or the remnants of an animal pelt, partially rotted away and desiccated. Like something had made a home in here and just died at some point in the past.
It's in here.
But
I'll pull it out.
okay, yeah, you pull it out and it is so a raccoon, or we think it might have been a raccoon. It's about that size. It is shriveled and dried. Some of it's rotted away, and then what hasn't rotted away has just dried and shriveled.
Well, look, I found Torval a hat.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh, it's a birthday present. Nice. Okay. But yeah, aside from that, no, there's just bits and bobs of trash.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Knifel,
Yes.
you are done digesting briefly that
Right.
unclean scroll.
Okay.
And are you going to go back out the way
Yeah.
you came, or are you going to look at the door to the north?
No,
are you going to try to regroup?
I assume that we're in close proximity, so I'm going to hear Quillnock and Torval kind of bickering about what they're doing in the other room, over the robe and whatnot, or whatever that they found. So I'm going to just kind of make my way out of there and
Yeah,
start
you heard
to
the chair crash. That's what you
Right.
heard.
So and
So look around and see.
right, and then
point-
in here, right?
Okay.
Yes.
I point at the door. You're not looking at that door then?
Not if you like to go in there, be my guest. You're talking about this door, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to go next door and see what those pellets are doing?
I'm already on my way. I assume it's been 10 seconds, so you're already done with the 2 dead bodies. So if you'd like to follow, be my guest. We can
Wow.
work together. So
Oh yeah. Before you leave, give this to Torval. It's a hat.
So, all right. So I'm gonna walk through the doorway, and I'll see. I see Quillnock there, and do I see a strange person standing up wearing a robe that I don't recognize?
You see a person standing there in a robe that you don't recognize the robe, but
So I will
Yeah.
I will shriek and tell Quillnock that that there beware, there's danger nearby, and I'm going to chuck the remains of the dead animal right at Torval.
oh my god. Okay. Well, go ahead. I'm gonna have you make me a ranged roll just to
Okay.
see if you hit them, because it would be funny. So that's gonna be a presence test,
Okay.
and it's gonna be a DR12.
Presence test, DR12. Is it a roll on here, or
On your character sheet,
I'm looking? It's
let me get to a character sheet.
so there's a use power that just does presence. So if not, I'll roll a D12.
You should be able to just click the die roll attached to presence on your character sheet.
Okay.
Should be able to.
Oh, there it is. Sorry. Yes, there we go.
If you used your eyes, Scott, you'd have seen it.
So as you go to throw this desiccated raccoon, you throw it, and it like leaves your hand early and kind of sails sideways, and it hits the wall on the east wall and bounces and falls way short, and it lands probably a third of the way in between the 2 big light sources there on the eastern half of the room.
Fair enough. Yeah. So yeah. So that's my reaction. If Torval's put on that moth hole rotting robe, then yes, just chuck it at him as I Quillnock, danger.
At least I'm not walking around with a fucking dead raccoon.
That's awesome.
Now, to be
All
fair,
right,
I knew it was you, but I.
Obviously.
So,
I know.
as you guys are standing there, and the desiccated raccoon goes flying, that door on the east wall opens, and it opens towards you, and
Is this a good time for a break?
just about.
What was that?
That was the door squeaking.
Oh, okay. All right, sure.
So the door squeaks as it opens, and two rather scruffy, dirty, nasty-looking, you can only imagine guards, since obviously, somebody's being held captive here, step through the door, sword kind of propped up on a shoulder. One is that way, one has a sword sheathed and is holding a femur like a club. And one of them says, "Who are you and why are you here?" In this very gruff voice. And that's
Who are
where we
you
start to take a
and
break.
why are you here?
It is my place to ask the questions. It's your place to answer them.
I think you find it's my place to ask the questions and you to answer them.
And he takes a few steps forward. I
How
do
many
not
are
have the
there?
Time,
Is
nor
there two?
the patience.
How many are there? Is there two of them?
There's two. There's two. And there's
I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I think we outnumber you.
That would seem to be the case. But are you sure you outnumber us?
Yes.
Now I'm going to give you to the count of 5.
I'm going to give you the count till 3.
You can drag your
3,
sorry asses out of here,
2.
or I'm going to cut your head from your shoulders.
Sure.
1, 2, 3,
I do have 3. Okay.
4, 5.
Quildoc, this might be a good point for you to interject before we go to break. What do you
Have it your way.
I immediately shiver.
Oh.
That is a good spot for a break, because that'll take. Then we start with combat.
Oh.
All right. We'll be back in, 10 minutes?
Yes, that's good.
Cool,
Yeah,
because I need
definitely
more
need more
fucking
tea.
caffeine. Right, we're back with Mörk Borg, part 2.
It gets funnier every time he does it. All right.
Oh,
So,
don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't do that.
Scott,
Yeah,
don't be-
is that possibly not racist?
No,
Yeah,
it's
Scott,
not.
you
Oh,
fucking
God.
racist wanker.
It's the Swedish chef. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Quiet.
God. Okay. So, we are going into combat. Since you guys wanted to be aggressive towards these two guards that walked in and basically told you to get the hell out. So, initiative is a single die roll. We're going to use the standard rule, which one of you will roll. I don't care who, just somebody tell me who's going to roll. It's going to be a d6. If you get a 1 to 3, the enemies get to act first. If you get a 4, 5, or 6, you get to act first.
I nominate the birthday boy because if we fail, it's his fault.
All right, whatever.
All right. The enemies go first.
See, it's his fault.
What
Yep.
game are we playing? All right. So, the one with the sword is standing just a few paces away from you, Torval. I said you needed to leave. You chose not to. And he goes and he swings his sword.
All right.
So the way Mörk Borg works is I don't make any die rolls as far
Okay.
as combat's concerned. So you are going to roll for the defense. It's going to be agility, and it's a DR 12, like pretty much every other roll.
All right,
And-
defense. There's a defense thing here with a d20 attached.
Yes.
So just hit that, I guess. So
Yep.
enemy damage, it's saying input value, enemy damage.
Enemy damage is going to be D6 or 1d6. Okay.
I don't know what fucking mean. I don't know what any of that means.
That's what I'm looking at. Rolling 1d6 minus 1d2. You have armor on, don't you? You do. Let me look. Torval, you are that guy. You do. You have padded armor. So the way armor works is you have padded armor. It's a tier 1 armor, which is minus D2. So whenever you get a hit, it's a 1d2 roll, and that value is reduced. That number is reduced from the damage you would take. The armor soaks up that much. So in this case, on that die roll, 1d6 minus 1d2 minus the 0. I don't know where the 0 is coming from. But you took 2 damage, you soaked 2 damage, so you take no damage. So that sword blow hits you in the upper shoulder on your left-hand side, and it's a glancing blow. It hits you, you feel its force, and it just bounces off. You just kind of throw your arm at it, and off it goes. The other individual that has the femur acting as a club is going to Kilnock, where are you standing precisely? Give me proximity to Torval. I know you're close.
So, Torval is what about?
Yeah, they're
Here,
close
probably?
like that.
Yeah, they are.
I'm probably like right next to him.
Okay. So while the one with the sword is engaged with Torval, he's gonna dart. The other's gonna dart past and at you, trying to club you upside the head with the femur. So go ahead and make me that defense roll, please.
Yep.
And the
1d6
femur's a
again?
1d4.
1d4.
Oh. So you rolled a 4, which means you get hit, and
I'm taking 3 damage, I believe.
yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I understand how that macro's working, because
So
I didn't
it's
write these macros.
Yeah, it's 1d4 damage minus 1d0 armor because I don't have any, and then
Yep.
minus 0 agility. I have no agility.
Yes. Okay. So, he hits you square in the temple with that femur, and he rings your bell. I sends you kind of tumbling to the side and staggering. You grab your head. You can feel the blood, and you're going to take 3 damage.
Yep.
And that should be that top center section of your character sheet.
Yep.
Okay. It is your turn now. Before you guys go, Vaughn, I'd like you to make that perception check. Or, I'm
Okay.
sorry, presence check for me.
So I just click on my presence. 10.
Okay. You hear something happening in that other room. You're not sure if it's coming from the north or from the east. You hear it's somewhere else. Something.
Do you mean from the west?
Yes, I'm sorry, from the west.
Okay. I'm going to go through the north door.
Okay. Let me reveal that. So, as you open up that door, there is the rotting stench just hits you. It's hot. The air is hot. You can hear the violin music coming from the north, from what looks like a set of stairs that descends further down across the room. There's a big blazing fire. There's a big oak table with several chairs around it in the center. The door on the west wall is open, and that is where you hear the commotion coming from.
Okay.
What would you like?
I'm gonna walk up so I can see through that door.
Okay. So as you look into the dining hall, you can see Kilnocht is stumbling and bleeding from the temple. You can see that Torval and a guard with a short sword are kind of squared off against each other. And you can see that Nifel is standing down by the other door at the far end of the room.
Can I attempt to bury my axe in the back of the figure who armed with a femur?
No, only because Torval and the other are kind of in your way.
Well, I'll bury my axe in his back then.
Yeah, that'll be fine. So that'll be a ranged attack. That's going to be presence.
Okay.
You have on your should just be able to do it right off your character sheet for the axe.
Okay.
So who are you going for? Me or the guard? I'm confused.
Me too. But I don't care.
Yes.
I'm aiming. I'm aiming in your general direction.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm aiming in their general direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I'm so glad we're doing Muting Year Zero tomorrow. So any shit I get today.
Wow, look at that roll. Rolled a 17. That's beautiful. So that axe goes flying.
So is higher better or is lower better in this? I'm confused. I'm a little bit confused.
You want to equal or exceed the difficulty rating. So you want high is better. So in this case, he needed to equal or exceed a 12. He rolled a 17. So you do 5 points of damage. Okay. That your axe smashes into the semi-hardened leather back piece of the guard. You can see the leather kind of crack as the axe goes through. You can see him kind of fall forward and scream in pain and agony as that axe just digs into his back, and he stumbles. And he starts to kind of.
Is that straight into Torval?
He lunges. Falls kind of forward towards Torval. He's trying with his free hand to reach behind him and trying to grab at this axe that's stuck in his back.
Okay.
He doesn't drop though.
Okay, I'm gonna. My aim is to run forward and go. Do you want a hand with that? And just dig it in a bit further.
We'll come to that the next round.
Yep.
Okay. Torval.
Is he dead?
No, he's not.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring out the brown scimitar of Galen Gen Beck, a stinking sword I pulled from a military shit ditch. It's lovely.
Does it have a special ability?
Yes. It says there's 1 in 6 chance a wounded enemy is smitten with potent sepsis, dying in 10 minutes.
Nice.
So how do I do this then?
Okay. That one is probably not on your character sheet.
No, it's not.
But let me look. Torval. It is not. Okay, so you're gonna roll. You are just going to just click the strength.
Yep.
And
I rolled
that
a
is
9.
a miss. You needed to get a 12.
Okay. It says DR10 though.
What's that?
It says DR10.
It has a DR10?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you rolled a 9, so you needed to get a 10 or higher. So as you swing...
I've just realised something.
What's that?
Everyone gets +2 for attack and defense for the first 2 rounds from my class ability.
Ah.
It didn't actually make a difference to any other rolls, but it would to this one.
Well, then it makes a difference. That would make it a hit then. So, and what is its damage rating? Should say on
It says D6 damage.
So roll me a D6, please.
5.
Okay. Why don't you describe how you drop this guard as you kill him?
Well, okay. So he gets an axe in the back, and like, as I pull out the scimitar, I do say and remind him, you are outnumbered. I did warn you, and then I just like slice him up with the shit stick, the shit prodder.
Nice. Perfect. He collapses to the ground, blood just pooling around him. Kill knock.
Yep. So
You
hand
just
on my
took
head.
one. You got your bell rung. What are you doing?
Yeah, left hand's still there. I just like pull out my dagger and go to thank
Okay.
the one that hit me.
Surely your character should be called Knifefall, and Scott's character should be called
We don't
I do
conform to
nothing.
stereotypes here. Let's give this a roll then.
By the way, Scott started all this bollocks.
He's dead.
Oh, look
He's
at
straight
that.
away dead.
So what? So you rolled a 17 to hit him, right? So just for
+2.
everybody watching and listening, why don't you tell us what that ability is with that dagger?
Yep. So this dagger. The seemingly ordinary dagger wrapped in silk. It does D4 damage, but if I roll a 1, the target dies immediately of a deadly poison weeping from a blade.
Yeah. So explain to the listeners and the watchers, you, me, and the viewer, how he dies.
Mm-hmm.
What it looks like.
Yeah, so I'm taken aback by that hit to me. Didn't expect it, obviously. I quickly just pull out the dagger, shove it in, straight in, twist it, and a purple substance seems to seep from the wound. It just takes him immediately.
Nice. And he, as you pull that dagger back out, he doesn't even have time to like grab at the wound, and he just collapses to the ground, lifeless. It's kind of a mix of red blood with kind of like purple swirls in it. It's great. And that will end our first combat. Congratulations. Knifel, you watched all of this happen.
Yeah.
Is there anything, obviously combat's over, but is there anything particular that you would like to do at this point?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I kind of shout, and it's about time, as I kind of like, dust myself off, and said, it's, you could have been a little quicker, the danger that was involved. And I'm going to make my way around the table and lean down as I'm kind of, chastising him a little bit with my holy priest presence as I kind of lean over and see if I can rifle through one of the pockets of one of the dead guards.
Just gonna roll my eyes at this prick that comes
Look at it
in.
Well,
Okay.
considering you did fuck all, you can sod off.
Well,
Coming to your rescue.
Oh no! Well, these aren't for me. These are for the Bergen Church. These are alms that are necessary to keep the church going, to suppress the two-headed basilisks. And
How's that going? How's that going for you?
Excellent. If it wasn't for him, you two would be dead right now. My presence here was the one that led you to victory.
Oh yeah, yeah. I seem to recall he stuck the knife in. He stuck his sword in. I clunked in with my axe, and you did did sod all.
Right. Well,
Bugger your religion. It is about as much influence on what we did just now as you taking a dump.
Oh,
Oh,
fine.
there is some love here tonight.
Yes. Well,
Are we supposed to hate
So,
each other? Is that the whole point of this game?
Yes.
kind of. Yeah. So do I
Yes.
find anything in the pockets as I'm
So
kind
as
of?
as you rifle through the pockets of the one that Kilnock dropped, you find a half a dozen silvers. For those that don't know, silvers are the currency of this game. Silvers make the world go round. So here we are. 2 dead guards on the floor. An old gray-skinned man laying in a heap on the floor.
I'm gonna take up the sword.
Okay. Absolutely. You
Hey,
can grab
Keith,
that
quick
sword.
question. You said that we're not using omens in this game.
We are.
We are. So
We are.
what do they do? Remind me. As
Okay,
far
so
as
omens, that's actually a good question because we didn't talk about it. So omens are an expendable resource.
Mhm.
On the map, on Roll20, you can see I've got it highlighted what they do, but you can
Right.
use them to deal max damage.
Uh-huh.
So you can spend an omen. Each of you has some, and they are good for like 1 day.
Okay.
So it is a limited resource, so use them wisely.
Mhm.
You
I've
can
only
deal
got
max
omen
damage.
one.
Huh?
I've only got one omen. Is that right?
Yeah, some of you have
That's a
one,
pity, 'cause
some
there-
have 2.
At least that's the best one.
I've got 4, but yeah. So is do I just
The worst one.
say I'm going to use an omen and then this is just random at what happens, or do I
No,
choose
no,
what
you
happens?
say you're going to use an omen, and then which of those 5 options you want to use it for.
Okay. Do they
So-
stack?
Um,
I mean, I've got 4. I mean, well, let's
look
put
at
it this
this.
way: does it just affect me, or can I choose?
so
But-
you can deal max damage. You can re-roll a die roll. It doesn't have to be. It can be your die roll, or you can spend it on somebody else's die roll.
Okay.
To re-roll somebody else's.
Right.
You can lower damage dealt to you by a d6 roll.
Okay.
So that number is going to be variable.
Mhm.
You can neutralize a critical or a
Mhm.
fumble.
Great.
So obviously, if you're dealing and you get a fumble, or
Right.
an enemy's hitting you and it's a critical,
Mhm.
or the last option would be to lower any given test difficulty by a DR4.
Okay. So I just spend them as I see fit, depending on the situation that comes up.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
All right.
But they are a limited resource. Normally, they would kind of like replenish after like a night's rest.
Okay. Sorry.
No, good question. So, where do you guys want to go now? Obviously, you have not found the king's son, Aldon. In this room, there is still a door to the north. There is the door on the east wall where Vaughn had come through. And then there were other options that way, but Vaughn is the only one aware of those.
It's a dining room. But there's another room here. I'm going to go have a look.
And
And these-
I'll put my hand on Vaughn's shoulder and say, hold up. You disparage my religion, but let's just see if the church can provide us a little insight. So I want to cast my stones on the ground in front of the door to see if there's some sort of danger lurking in the adjacent room. So that would be a presence test, right?
What, the
the
room that
north or to
Pookie
the
just came
east?
from?
Which one were you going through, Pookie?
I was going for the back to the east.
You're muted, Scott.
So it would be you're going back into this room and through one of these doors, or this?
I'm
door?
going back through the. I'm going. Okay, the door from the dining room
Uh-huh.
to the east. I'm going back through the door I came into
right.
the.
Into this room.
Yep.
Okay, but you're not going through one of the other doors yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. So yeah. So I mean, just so I can move on to everyone else, I will follow him into the room, but I will still cast the stones to see if I can sense any danger, adjacent to over here, depending on the doors.
Okay. Yeah. So you throw your stones and go ahead and make your die roll.
6.
Okay, and you had a DR 12, you said?
Test presence DR 10.
DR 10. Okay. So as you cast the stones on the ground and they fall where they fall, and you start to interpret them like any good stone reader would, you feel rather confident that every which way but up is good.
Excellent. So I gather up my stones and say, well, the presence of my God has told me that there is no danger to fear in these other rooms. So please feel free to proceed as normal. And I gather them up and I kind of edge my way back.
Fucking
Oh,
Captain
right.
fucking hindsight
Like
here.
I was seeking his permission.
Was anybody?
I want to make sure that Keelnutch is okay, because he's got a nasty gash to the head, hasn't he?
He does.
He'll get better.
I will catch a breath and to try to recover some health.
Okay.
Well, that is.
But I mean, if Torval wants to stick around and kiss his non
Shut up! You're like a fucking woman.
better, who am I to say no?
How much did you get hit for, by the way?
3.
Oh,
And I've
okay.
just restored 3.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. So the catch a breath is like a short rest of sorts.
Tough it out, kind of thing. Just wipe the blood away and press through it. Yeah.
Use it as hair gel. Kilnock, while you're kind of like taking a knee in a sense and catching your breath and trying to recover your faculties, you rifle through that other body that Knifel did not. And this is the one that had the sword originally before Vaughn swiped it. Vaughn, did you take your axe back, by the way?
Oh yes, yeah,
Okay, just check.
yeah.
Just
Basically,
checking.
wipe it clean
On your waistcoat.
on his waistcoat, not running my waistcoat.
Nice, well played. And Kilnock, you find 10 silver and a set of keys.
Okay.
Keys. Car keys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Car keys to the donkey.
I've got a donkey.
Just don't ask where you insert the keys.
All right. We'll go back over to Knifel and Vaughn. Torval, where are you? Are you still in the dining hall, or did you go?
Well, like I said, I went to check on Keelnotch.
Okay. Are you gonna chill with him for the 10 minutes or so while he kind of collects himself?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. We'll come back to you guys. So back in the room where the guards had come from, as you guys, let me give you the setting now that everything's kind of settled down. The fireplace that's burning in there, is blazing. It's hot. That's the source of the heat. There is a stench emanating, just permeating the whole room. It's coming from everywhere. The door on the west, from the stairs that descend downward that are on the north there. I will do that. And on the west wall, that other door on the west wall is iron, where the one that you guys came through was wooden. And
I look at Knifel and go, this stench would be a whole lot better if it covered the whiff of sanctimonious bullshit I'm getting from you.
And obviously iron doors, like I said, hold nothing more dangerous than maybe a mouse. So feel free to proceed. So is there something cooking in the stove, or is that where the stench is?
No, the fire
Okay.
is just a raging wood fire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
But
making the room very hot.
But it's there's a stench though. Just
There's a stench of rot, but it's
Okay.
not coming from the fire.
All right. Well, I will kind of ignore the comments coming from Vaughn just for a moment and give him a scowl. So I kind of I try to search around to see where that stench is coming from, because I mean, if it's the Shadow King's son, we can just bring the body back and get the hell out of here and on with our lives. So
Why don't you, while you're searching around, why don't you
Basically,
roll a d6 for me?
We're both kind of searching. It's sort of like, I'm going to look round.
Okay. Roll a d6 for me as well, Vaughn.
Okay.
Okay. So as you guys are rummaging around, as far as the source of the stench, right? There, from that iron door, there is a stench that kind of permeates and, from around it and under it. And from the stairs leading down, there is a stench that kind of drafts upward.
okay.
But rummaging around the room itself, looking for the source, Knifel, roll me another d6, please. In a cupboard of sorts, for lack of a better term, as you kind of creak open this little cabinet door, you find a bunch of clay pots and cookery and things like that, but tucked in between all of this and is a rolled piece of parchment. And
Okay.
you extract it out and you kind of unfurl it. It's small, and this is another scroll. You can roll me a d10.
It's the Elder Scroll.
It could be the Elder Scroll.
Yes.
Good
So,
God,
the
Scott, can
first
you
Elder
roll
Scroll.
anything higher than a 1?
You can look on the page 35 again, since I know you have the book. Under Sacred Scrolls, the bottom half, it is Grace of a Dead Saint. It'll tell you what it does.
The thing is, when he does roll a number other than a 1, the only response is, not the 1, not the 1.
Right.
Okay.
Vaughn, as you're rooting around, propped against a chair at that round table, you spy a small, easily handled, personal crossbow.
Ooh, pick it up.
Nice.
Ah,
You pick it up, and there are on the sides of it. It's got the wood
stock.
stock, the body, and there are 3 bolts clipped in on each side of it. So it has a set of 6 bolts that you can then load and fire. So if you want to make a note of that, it's a D6 damage, and you have 6 bolts.
So
Cool.
quick question, Keith. So on the scrolls, when I got the first one, the blind your eye, I could use it twice a day. So does that mean
You can
that
use any scrolls that you have.
right?
You can use, I don't care if you have 200 scrolls.
Right.
You can use all scrolls, 2 occurrences, not of each scroll, but you can use, it's
Just
like
2
you casting magic twice a day.
Right. So two spells, doesn't matter. Kind of pick from the list, and you can pick 2 of those a day. Okay.
Yes. It
Cool.
can be that you can use the same one twice.
Right.
You can use 2 different ones.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. That's the limitation on it.
Mm-hmm.
As a
Hang on. What the hell happened there?
Oh.
Well, his Zoom died.
Yeah.
No idea what happened there.
Sure we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you need us to turn our video off?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Right, I think Jay Wall's first. Keith. Scott. And then Pookie.
Okay.
That was fun.
That's the effects of the scroll.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Mind your-
It just
Line
went.
your eye works perfectly. No. Go ahead, James. Sorry.
Yes, it does. We good, James?
I think so. Yes.
We all seem to be in the right spot. That was shit.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the time it takes for you guys to kind of Knifel, to cast your stones and then read them and rummage around the room with you and Vaughn. Kilnock, you with the aid of Torval are able to kind of take your rest and recover some health. What would you two like to do?
What? Me and.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we could. Well, it's probably not worth opening another door to like. You know, we shouldn't. I don't think we should open that door just yet.
It's safe.
You just shout, it's safe.
Everybody fucking believes Sam. Yeah.
First, I want to pick up the theme of the one I stabbed had, so I have two now.
Okay.
Never know when you need it.
Two femurs.
Clack, 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 clack.
Whenever.
Alright.
Yeah. I guess it's worth having a replacement femur.
You have two femurs.
Yeah.
Should we do this door? Should we go through it?
Can we hear anything on the other side?
Well, according to Knifel, it's safe. Do we believe-
I would like to listen.
Okay, all right. I'll let you listen.
Go ahead and why don't you make me a presence test, please? DR 10.
Oh, look at that.
So, as you listen, it's quiet. You do hear some violin music. You know, the eerie violin notes still. But you think you hear something else, but you're not sure what.
What's up with the fucking violin?
I don't know.
I'm asking, Killnot.
Wait, what are you asking me?
What's up with the fucking violin?
Maybe you should find out.
Okay, all right, cool. I'll open the door, go through it.
Towards the door.
Okay. So you open the door,
Yeah.
and
I'm going to go north, so I'm going to put N on the keyboard and step, go through. Head north.
The door is locked. I unlocked the door.
Bollocks.
You don't
Run.
have
no,
key.
the door is open,
Run.
or the door is unlocked, I should say.
Open the door. Nope. Unlock the door. Nope. Push door. Nope. Pull door.
So I'm only revealing part of the door, or part of the other side of the door,
Okay.
for reasons.
Where's the door?
So
Not
as
the
you
door.
open the door and peer through it is a corridor. It is dark. It is cold, but there is a light at the far end. And
Oh,
I'm gonna
don't!
reveal-
I'm gonna turn to kill.
Go to the light, Torville. Go to the
Oh,
light.
fuck you! You ruined my joke there, you son of a gun.
And you do hear that violin music a little bit louder now that the door is not in your way. There is a door on the east wall just inside
All right,
the corridor.
I'll go through that door.
So as you step into the corridor, that
Yep.
door on the east wall,
Yep.
you can see that the wood and the frame are swollen and damp.
Oh, I don't want to go in there then.
Make me a presence test, please.
Why?
Because I said so. Why?
17.
As you look at it and listen, you can hear.
I don't know what that is.
You're scratching on the other side.
I'm going to turn to Kilnock and go. There's something scratching on the other side of that door.
Then what do you want me to do about it?
Well, you're a knifey boy.
Don't you have a bow?
What's that? There's a fucking door. I can't. What will that? Do I have a bow? I don't know. No, I don't. I have the ship. I have the ship stick.
Somebody has a bow.
Well, like, either the scimitar or the bow is a bit more effective than a dagger usually.
Yeah, but it's no good against a door, is it? You know.
Hear my wife laughing.
Neither's a
downstairs. I
dagger.
wonder if she's still watching us play.
Yeah, but there's a door, right? A dagger you can keep close and stab, right? Where if it's
Stab the door.
Well, with a
Like
scimitar,
stab back
you
with the
know,
dagger.
with a scimitar, like I've got to swing it, right? I've got to swing it. I can't stab. It's not a stabby thing, is it? It's a slicey thing.
You know what? For all their discussion of how to attack the door, what they've not discussed is what's the door armed with?
And once again, Vaughn and I are in the other room. We can hear them arguing again and just
That's
shaking
all
our heads.
You hear kind of like. You just hear that muffled kind of arguing, like
Hurdy.
like a husband and wife arguing.
Then we.
I'm like,
Yeah,
can't you also
Like two
just
Swedish
bite?
chefs fighting over food.
Yeah. I look at it and go, it's like they're already married.
What does Beaker make? What's the noise that Beaker makes?
What?
Beaker.
Oh,
Pookie does that too well.
Jay will probably
All
has
right.
no idea what we're talking about, just so you know.
Okay, I'll
Jay
come
was
back
too
to you
young.
guys.
yeah. All right, lovebirds.
Nigel
let's-
and Vaughn.
Right.
What is your plan?
Well, I mean, obviously, yes. We probably can hear them muffled arguing again.
Yes.
I am going to suggest to Vaughn that obviously the stench does smell like royalty, so we might want to have Quillnock check it out, and just kind of say, well, I guess we have two options. We could go back around and see what they're arguing about, or head down the steps. But or you feel free to go into this room that holds no danger whatsoever, and I will follow behind.
Hang on, you've said that about every fucking door.
How about you? If it's not dangerous, you can get bloody first. I ain't your lackey. Since your god tells you it's not dangerous, surely you should be doing his work and believing in his word and enacting it.
All right. Well, I will succumb to the pressure, but I will have whatever
It's fine. I've got a crossbow pointed at you, pointed in your general direction, just in case there's some danger.
Yes, I will hold on to whatever I have of my god to utilize as an omen if need to, and I'm gonna go. Fine. You think there's no danger in here, and I just throw the door
No, you
open.
think there's no danger in there.
I will prove it and just throw the door open.
Okay.
This one, right? I mean, if it's locked, the big, iron clad heavy door.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able to open
Is it Thunderchild?
Right.
And as you swing it inward, there is this as you open it, there is a repulsive stench of death, just like hits you like a wall. It violates like every one of your senses, and there are bodies everywhere. And do that. As you look in, you can see in the corridor that runs east-west, there are bodies, parts of bodies strewn about. You're not quite sure how many there are or how many there were. Parts are mixed in, and tumbled together. Innards are splayed out everywhere. Blood is splattered and dried, and everything is just festering and rotting.
My, Your Religious Highness, what an incredible stench you've found.
And as he says that, I'm standing there with indignant, just holding the door open. See, there is absolutely nothing to.
You throw the door open and start to vomit from the stench, because I mean the smell of it's horrific.
Where's that from, Pookie? Oh,
what's that?
Star Wars. Sorry, it took me a while. I couldn't remember where the quote was from. I couldn't remember if it was Star Wars or Labyrinth, with the bog of eternal stench.
You can hear from in there, elsewhere in there.
Help! 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 Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
Oh, sounds like Cornut's got a hidden talent we didn't know he had. Thrown his voice.
Yeah, so I'll wipe my mouth up and kind of turn and look in the room to see if I can see where the call for help is coming from.
The only light source in here is what's coming from the room that you're in.
Okay.
We'll call it the guard room. Is casting that light in there, and you can see as you kind of get your bearing now and your senses back. You can see arms sticking through bars of cells into the hallway there, like flailing about, and you can hear, "Help me! Let me out, please! Help!" And the arms that you see are like skinny and like flesh sagging off the their arms. Like there's no meat or muscle. They're emaciated.
Okay. Aldon?
And no response.
Well, it's not him. Shall we continue on?
Can you hear us arguing behind the door?
Oh, I'm sure we could probably hear you better now. Yeah, but we'd have to climb over the bodies to open the door.
What do you hear him say, Aldon?
You both can make a presence test to see if you perceive that.
Oh, look at that.
Well, since you both rolled equally well with 3s,
Yep.
the answer is no.
All right. Well, I'm talking about why is the door weeping? Is the door alive? Do we need to kill the door? Is the door sweaty? Why is the door all sweaty?
How did we get to the door being sweaty?
I don't know. I mean,
the
it's damp. As you begin to look at
Sweaty.
the door a little bit more,
I'm not
with
very.
the-
I'm clumsy and dim-witted. All right. So
Yeah, no, it's fair, right? So as you look at the door, with the only light source you have is the light that is emanating from the lamp closest to the door from the dining hall.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that.
All right. I'm going to stab the door.
You stab the door, and your blade sinks in a little bit, and you can feel that the wood is damp and moist. but it
Doesn't bother me. Some people hate that word.
I mean, but as you pull your blade back out, you can the door, or not the door, but the tip of the blade is damp, and it's kind of like this, like watery red, almost as if the door is absorbed like blood.
Oh, so the door bleeds. I'll give you like, look, I killed the door.
He's playing it up for all it's worth. This is good. This is good. What would, for Kilnock and Torval, what would you like to do?
I like how we've broken
And yes,
the.
you guys
like,
can see down the hall. I'm just not revealing part of it.
I like how we've broken the rules of roleplay.
What, don't split the party?
Yeah.
No, we're almost back
That's
together.
where the
Stop.
fun comes.
Never split the party unless the party's already split. That's
So-
rule number one. You guys broke it at the beginning, so we're good.
We might as well go 4 separate ways. I will go up the corridor. I'm just going to leave this door. I didn't care about it.
Well, it's dead. I killed it.
You killed the door. I'm going to give you some special experience later for that.
Oh, thanks.
So as Kilnock, as you go up the door, you leave Torval to finish killing the door and earning his gold star of experience. Yes, the birthday boy prize. As you go up, on about halfway up the hallway, you can kind of start to see it where I stopped revealing the fog of war. On the left-hand side of the hallway, the west wall, is this very large painting. But it's very dim for you to see it because, again, you only have a light source in front of you, which is kind of dim, and a light source that is relatively now dim behind you. I will show that to you real quick before we head off to another break. So you should see that. There we go. Yep, there we go. So you guys see that, or you see it specifically, Kilnock. You have enough ambient light to take a look at it, and that is what you see.
Yep.
Okay. Juan, or do you wait for Torval?
I look at it and don't think much about it. I just keep going down the corridor.
Okay. Let me reveal this for you, and then I think we will go off to a break. Yes, James?
Okay.
All right. So you continue on, and the corridor kind of opens up, and you see Actually, we'll leave it at that, and I'll describe it when we come back.
All right, we'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. Don't touch that dial. Also, don't forget we've got a thingy con. That con. We've got the
James
convention.
is really, really tired. We are doing the convention of role playing on 19 December. If you head on over to the Discord or look him up on Twitter, you can find the link to it. Or you can find me on Twitter because I tweeted about it earlier today, in fact. And find a link. Registration for players is open, so go sign up for it.
Yeah, cheers. All right, we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, bitches.
You do say Gateswood, you're an American.
We're back.
I know
Don't
I'm
forget,
American.
if you're enjoying this, like and subscribe. This will probably be one. I'll probably do most of today. Will probably be just like, not. It'll probably just be like I'll string them all together for just one video rather than like doing multiple bits.
That's a massive video.
It's not really. It's only one video. Right, where were we? What happened? I really want to turn this picture upside down. Right, I'm gonna open it in. If I open it in Photoshop.
So Kilnock, I'll come back to you momentarily. Knifel and Vaughn, what are you guys doing?
Vaughn, I'll let you go. I mean, I kind of called out for the King's son name. He didn't answer, so I'll just kind of look back and, for suggestions or guidance?
I don't know. Depends how handsy you want to get with the arms.
Do you have a torch? It's dark and I can't see anything.
Hold on.
There are 2 torches that were back in that first room, the one that's marked number 3 on the map.
Okay.
I can get a torch. I'll go back to the room with the bodies lying in it and the sort of skeletons and grab a torch.
Okay. Yeah, you have a torch.
And then go back through the room with the table and hand the torch to Knifeful through the door. And I step back basically with my crossbow sort of like ready.
Okay.
I'll take the hand off and just shine the torch into the cell to see what I see.
So you see it's 5 cells, not one large cell, but it's 5 separate cells. And in each of the cells are 2 very emaciated people.
Mm-hmm.
They are very gaunt looking, and like their flesh is just kind of hanging off of their frame. And you can see that like their skin is kind of pulling back around their mouths. They're so dehydrated and starving, and they're reaching through the bars and pleading with you to help them.
Right. Okay. Do you know where Alden is?
And they just continue to, reach out as if they're looking for food and begging for help, and they don't respond in any kind of constructive way.
I poke my head through and have a look and go, you know what? I wonder if that's what Quillnut looks like underneath that mask of his.
Oh, damn. Damn.
I'll turn, and go, well, it certainly smells like him. So these 2 are of no assistance. I think we should move on and see if we can find the 2 lovebirds before they get into another marital spat.
They'll be settling down and having kids soon.
So do we need to climb over the bodies to get to the door on the other end?
Yeah, you would have to.
All right.
You know what? Let's walk round.
Oh, good point. So I'll as I turn, I'll stop in the doorway and I go, "We'll be back soon," and then I close the door as we head around the corner.
That steel door just kind of has that ominous like thud and click as the latch mechanism, catches.
Whew. Remind us not to go back in there. So where were they?
Up the other way. Oh yeah. Just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go back in that room.
So I assume we're heading back like through here and then
I'll have to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's my favorite.
That's my favourite thing to do, Pookie. It's when people go, "Yeah, can you remind me to not forget my jumper tonight?" And I'll go, "Sure. Don't forget your jumper tonight." Then my job's done.
I think Scott needs a definition of jumper.
I am thinking someone's reminded you not to forget their pajamas.
No, sweater. Okay.
Okay,
knitted pullover.
I know what a sweater is and a knitted pullover, but much like I'm trying to figure out why a trunk is called a boot. But we can discuss this later after the game concludes. So,
And the hood is a bonnet.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know why it's called a lift. That's obvious, but anyway, it's gone.
Oh yes, these discussions again. All right, you come back around, and you see Torval feeling accomplished at killing the door.
They don't know I killed the
He
door.
is-
I will tell them, though, that I've killed the door.
Well done. You can go up a level.
Quillnock, is he stabbing entryways again?
Quillnock is down the hall, down the corridor.
If he's stabbing entryways again, doesn't say much for their relationship.
Jesus. God, I love it.
All right, so, well, I mean, where's Quillnock?
Down there.
All right.
Look,
Well,
the
shall we
door's
go
bleed.
shoot
Look, the door
the three, let's go
bleeds.
see what he's doing.
Look, door bleeds. And sweats.
Yes, and so do you. So let's go find Quillnock. And
Yeah. But we're not stabbing you. So
Quillnock.
So as you guys, you can see Quillnock moving down at the end of the hall, because and you can see him because there's light. Quillnock down at the end of the hall. There is.
Is that a trapdoor?
That is not a trap door. That is a. Well, I guess it is a trap door. It's not a trap. It's
Well, we can't go down that then.
It is a hatch in the floor with a large iron pull ring on it. So
Yep, definitely can't. Is there a skull sitting nearby?
What
Like a skull, like a talking skull.
It's not a skull. I'm about to reveal what that is.
But
This area
Are you
over
quoting
here,
Last
number
Unicorn?
7, has.
I know what he's referring to.
All right. Sorry, Keith. We keep interrupting you.
Go ahead. What do you need?
Oh no. I mean,
Oh, sorry. So there is the subtle smell of sulfur in the air down here at the end of the hallway.
is sulphur the smelling of egg? Is sulphur the eggy smell?
Yes.
and of course, Quillnock, would you like to borrow my torch? Because obviously you laid an egg. We need to clear the air before we proceed.
I was waiting for that.
Just one question. If you've laid an egg, is it Torville's?
Oh my god. All right, so there is the subtle smell of sulfur in the air. The violin music can still be heard. It is has a little more presence to it now. There are 3 oil lamps hanging from the ceiling on chains, which are casting the light, or which is casting light. The object you see there to the left is a rusty hand pump. Here's a picture of what it looks like.
It's probably the smell of. The water's probably gone stagnant.
So there you go.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
And
So, question, on the map, you've got that blank spot between the corridor and the room itself. Is that in darkness, or is that just is there something there?
no, it is not in darkness.
Okay.
Does this cross over something? Is that kind of why it's still dark?
There's
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So something.
But-
It's Gygaxian, so the maps are intersecting, so we just can't see that.
The thing.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So what you see is obviously that pump, and then its catch basin. This here is a hatch in the floor. As I said, it's a large wooden hatch with a large iron ring on it. And
We better not go down there then.
It seems to be the only way we can
east
go.
Wall,
Oh.
about here, is there's a hole in the east wall. And that's all I'm going to tell you for now. And then, obviously the south is where you came from.
That's a holy wall.
Did you
I'm
say
really
holy?
sorry.
The more tired he gets, the punnier he gets.
Yeah, we better not. There might be something down there, by the way. That trapdoor. We better not go down there.
All right. Well, I think we have some options here. I mean, I've got a few extra silvers from the guards around the corner, so maybe we should flip a coin and see if we either open this hatch or Quillnock looks in the hole in the wall.
Or we go down the stairs.
That's right. While you two were arguing, we found some stairs in the other room and nothing else.
All right, we found a bleeding
No.
door.
So, Torvald,
Oh, we know you killed a door.
where would you like to go, Torvald?
I mean, it was such a threat. Must have leapt out and surprised you with its attack.
Well, doors are sneaky, right?
Yeah.
Squeaky.
It's squeaky, not sneaky.
Yeah. While Vaughn is, continuing to spew forth on Torvald, I'll get bored and I'll want to look in the hole just because I just want to see.
Can we push him?
As you kind of, you have to bend down just a little bit and you look through this hole in the wall and it's, it may be not even quite a foot.
Okay,
across.
so it's not like an eye hole; it's a big old hole.
No,
Okay.
it's a little bit bigger. I mean,
Okay.
You can stick your arm through it, but
It's not the scene
So-
from Porky's. It's a big hole. in the
No,
wall.
it's not the
Okay,
scene from
good.
Porky's.
So if we was playing that dungeon that's like a killer dungeon, and it's got the where you stick your hands in it and it destroys your hand, you'd be dead now, yeah.
No, if I put it in the hole, I'd be dead now. Just looking into it wouldn't do anything. Yeah. But yeah, sorry. So,
Yeah,
No worries. So you can see across.
Distance.
is there anyone hanging from it?
Nope. I am going to. I gotta reveal some more for you though. Oops.
So there was no dad jokes. This one's just full of puns.
Yeah,
Horrible puns.
yeah. So that should pop up. You see like a white dot,
Yeah.
right? So you see there's a couple of things going on here. Out into this kind of darkness, there is a haze, like a mist that floats and lingers low to what you think might be the floor.
Mhm.
And rising up through it is this white pillar. And on top of this pillar is two skeletons that are playing violins. And that is where the violin music is originating from. And you can hear it. The acoustics are, fantastic. It's here, and it's emanating from here and drifting throughout the den.
Just kind of start waving them over.
I'll have a look.
And I'm going to show you a picture of the pillar as well.
Is it a pillar of pillar?
Oh.
Pillar of
Okay.
Eternia. Eternia, that's He-Man. Pillars of Eternia.
Yeah,
Why is there I'm confused. I'm really confused. Why is there skeletons playing on a pillar?
This is the thing that confuses you.
Well, it's one of many things.
and if I raise my hand, to Quillnock and go, yeah, that deserves one, and wait for a high five.
And as you look across and kind of to the north and to the south as well, and from this hole in the wall, you think you can see that there's other areas, but there's just too much darkness and too much of this mist. It obscures your vision to the point where you know that there's something else, but you can't discern what that something else is.
Is it like PC?
Okay.
Yeah, very much like pea soup, like London fog.
I look through and go, can't see much. That mist kind of lingers, doesn't it?
does, and absolutely, and the presence of that sulfuric smell is very present as well.
But why is there skeletons playing violins on a pillar?
Who knows?
In the
Maybe
mist,
maybe
next-
his god has got an
Next
answer.
to the mouse.
Yeah, what's your god
Mouse,
say?
Jack Belt.
Rifle?
My god says that if we have anything strong enough, that we should just break through this wall and walk on in. I mean, there's already a hole here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You sure that we couldn't go down the trapdoor or something and look down there, or
Oh, we can't go
down
down
the
the
steps.
trapdoor.
I mean, instead of doing all, that's your option is to break down the wall and do all that hard work when
He
there's
wants to break on through to the other
the
side.
other side.
I say my stones have lost the presence of my deity because stuff.
Well, are we talking about the stones in your pocket or the stones in your pocket?
No, but I said he does speak through me through my coin. So I take one of the silvers that I flick it around and
That's what you got in your pocket then.
right, and I go. Well, my god says to go through the trapdoor, but if you'd like to break down this wall, feel free to do so. Either way, I still think we should, try to get the, the bastard son of this the Shadow King out of here. I've got stuff to do. I've got.
My what?
I've got. Where is it? Cathedrals desecrate. Desecrate.
All right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You sure it's not defecate?
You can
That's-
you can go suck all the water out of a cathedral all you want.
Oh.
Well,
All right. Well, at least I'm not stabbing doors. So.
Yeah, but I mean the doors are the real threat round here, aren't they?
Well, they are.
All right. Well.
Sweaty bloody things.
Exactly. What sort of door sweats unless it's alive?
All right. So.
He's
I'm-
never heard of wood sweating. I don't know.
So just like with the room with the
You?
with the cells, I will get frustrated and indignant and just walk over and just open up the trapdoor and just say, "Shall we?"
After you.
as you
Oh,
throw
I went-
open the trap door, it comes up and over and like smashes into the wall, and loudly.
Mm-hmm.
You can see going down that there is a like a step ladder going down dozen or so, maybe 15 foot going
Hang on.
down.
Hang on. Am I thinking of a different type of step ladder?
I don't know.
I don't know. What step ladder are you thinking of, James?
Well, the ones that you open up and you sort of like walk up, and they're only like shorter. They're generally a bit shorter than. I don't know.
It could a step ladder is a term over here for a small ladder too.
Like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just happen to have one sitting next to my desk.
You bought the Mörk Borg prop set?
I did.
Why
I
aren't
did.
you
I got the
using
prop
it?
set. You should have seen the size box it came in. Holy crap.
You got any femurs?
I do, but my wife won't let me use this on camera.
Where did you put the 30-foot tall pillar with skeletons on top?
It's more like
That's in the front
50-foot
yard.
Tall pillar. It's in the yard. I can't get it in the house. It's too big.
Right. So, all right. Well, Torvald,
All right.
this door poses no danger to us.
We better go down the trapdoor then.
Who's gonna go down first?
Dorval.
Torvald.
Okay, whatever. I'll go down first.
You've been voluntold. I love it.
Yeah, I'll go down first. But mark my word, if there's something down here, I'm coming
I'll
straight back
remember
up.
you for a minute or two.
Oh, that's good.
If there's something down there.
Well, you should, considering the kind of relationship the pair of you have.
All right.
Whatever. Yeah, do it.
Oh, no. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Let me do polygon reveal. See if I can make this one actually work for once. All right, so you climb down the ladder, and it does have a slight angle to it. As you come down,
Excuse me.
I'm almost there. So this thing is a royal pain in the keister sometimes.
So that'll be Cornoc's fault.
Right. Come on, I connected the dots for God's sakes.
You might be not pointing anything out, but what I always do is I don't go on there. I actually am drawing something and realize I'm on the wrong layer.
No, I'm on the right layer. It's just not wanting to do it. So we're going to do this my way.
Okay.
See, like that.
This looks strangely like a basement I've seen in Punk Apocalyptic.
So as you descend down into this underground area of the accursed den, it is very hot. It is damp. It is hot. There's
It's hot
soot
down here.
covering. What's that?
I'm showing up that it's hot down here.
It's hot down here. There's
very hot.
soot. There's soot covering everything. There is the sulfuric haze coming from where the pillar is, and you can see as you stand at the base here. You know, you stand down here. You can see looking toward the pillar that there is kind of this blackness around the pillar. You think you can see further beyond the pillar, but the haze again obscures that view. Whether it's in this direction or this direction. But what's more prominent where you're at is the area is lit by two large hearths, right here and here. And they are ablaze, and they are very, very hot. Okay? And from the ceiling hangs short chains with large hooks. And from those hooks are large pieces of fleshy meat. You can kind of see them on the map. There's kind of like the dark smudges on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is these pieces of meat hanging from these hooks. Why don't you roll me a presence test?
Everybody?
Sorry, is that everybody or just Torville?
Just Torville. Okay.
Is that to resist the kebab?
No. As you look around, you see that some of the pieces of meat hanging from the hooks are distinctly human. There are like lower pieces of arm, so it's like hooked in just in the meat of the bicep, and there's a down to the hand. But it's flayed of skin, so the skin is gone. It's just the meat.
Oh, the best part, skin.
The best part?
Yeah, crackling.
Well, and there's other hunks of meat, and they're varying sizes. What are the rest of you doing?
Is Alden down there? Torval?
What?
Is Alden down there?
Maybe.
I vote we close the door, but I think we should go down and see what he's doing.
It might be bits of him.
Did you say bits?
Torval, you can see on that south side down here,
Yeah.
once was a wall and it has collapsed. So
There's
there is some rubble.
got a way.
Anybody wonder what this pump does?
Yes.
Yes.
Cornock, it's all yours.
Very eager to. I just go up to it and start cranking the pump.
Be down in a minute, Torval. We're just.
All right.
So you start.
We're just letting Cornock have a pump.
God, that
Pump
sounds
what?
so horrible. So horrible. As you start to pump, you know, it's a little stiff and it kind of freezes.
That's how he likes it.
Fuck
know,
me.
right? As the pump mechanism starts to kind of move and kind of break free, you kind of hear it gurgle, and this kind of
That's the sound he's been waiting for.
yes, this muddy liquid starts to kind of like spurt, and then have a more steady stream into the stone basin.
We're all 10 now.
Somehow I think he was expecting that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a 40-something-year-old
10-year-old. All right. Okay. So,
and there's several inches of like this kind of muddy, thin muddy liquid in the stone basin.
right. Torval, are you okay? Does it have any effect down there? That's just what I'm curious about.
No, it does not.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
I like how you wait for me to be down here to do that. Not that I know.
So it's the.
Well, I'm gonna
the basis-
be like, there's bits of human down here.
All right. Well.
Maybe they'll be friendly.
Yeah.
I think they're dead.
They'll be friendly.
I'll
think-
take my the weapon I have,
think
the
they're
femur,
smoking it.
the
I think
bone, and
they're
I'll
smoking-
just kind of like just dip it in the sludge and just kind of stir it a little bit, just kind of
What, you want sauce on the bone?
So yeah, you dip your femur in it and stir it around. I mean, it stirs. It's thin.
Chambers of Roleplay canceled
After Mörk Borg was played.
My favourite thing is that, I like the fact that Scott is, his character's stirring shit, literally and figuratively.
I didn't say it stinks like shit.
This falls directly into it's what my character would do.
Sure.
So femur stirring it all. I mean, it stinks, I assume, yeah. But nothing happens when I stir it? No?
Nothing happens when you stir it, but it doesn't stink.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure
It doesn't
that...
smell like sewage.
Okay. Well, I'll kind of make sure that my, the tip of my femur is coated with it before we go down.
It's like thick, dirty water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but no, all right. Well, that was interesting. Torval,
What, you just
we're on our way.
or-
All right, so I'm on my way. I don't want to speak for Quilnock and Vaughn.
Torval, as you were kind of standing there, kind of having this up-down conversation up the ladder, and like standing kind of at the edge or amongst these pieces of meat hanging on the hooks, from across the room, you can't see it, but you can hear a door open. And
Well,
you hear
I'm pulling my sword out.
The large, Jesus, I can't even talk now. The creak. God, that was horrible. It didn't even play.
We did.
You heard it. I heard it.
Oh, you guys heard it? Okay, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear the creak of a door, and you draw your sword, and then some of the meat on the hooks begins to move, as if something is coming towards you.
Something's coming, and it doesn't look good.
Then you start to see, because of the fires burning in those large hearths, you begin to see shadows being cast. More so than just the shadows cast from the the hunks of meat on the hooks, but as they start to move, it casts more shadows, and you get almost a shadowy vision of a very large figure moving from across the room and moving the meat out of its way.
Okay, I'm just standing there. I'm ready to strike.
I've begun climbing down the ladder, so I just want to make that apparent too.
Okay. So you begin to climb down the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is probably a good cliffhanger to leave you guys on.
I think it is.
I do.
I so wanted to like see that and then cast blind your eye on him and let Torbo know he's invisible, even if it failed. And but yes,
yeah,
perfect
but the
spot.
thing is, James won't remember for next time, so you can still do it.
It's all right.
No, he'll remember, because this will be a VOD, so we can go back and listen to the last 20 minutes, and everybody knows what we're doing.
You do
Right.
that?
Should we do shout-outs? Yes,
Yeah,
I think it's time to do shout-outs. So we'll
So
start
this
with...
turns into a two session game instead of a 1 session game.
That's all right. I'm absolutely fucking knackered.
I know.
Right, Pookie.
Hi,
Where can
I'm
we
Vicky.
find you?
You will find me on James's Discord and other Discords. But primarily, I am known for writing reviews, which you will find at Reviews from Relier, including a review of Mörk Borg, and the game we've been playing tonight. Go read the review; it's great. The book, not just my review.
Thank you. J-Will.
Yep, I'm Joel. You can find me again on James's Discord, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch very occasionally, like right now, and sometimes on my own channel. Joel7Z everywhere because some fucker always steals Joel. Yeah.
Thank you. Scott.
Hey, I'm Scott. You can find me on Twitter at HailOrcusTorcus. Come back here next weekend as we continue with our Highway of Blood session.
Oh, yeah, Highway of Blood, yeah. I was about
yes.
to say, it won't be this next week, it'll be Highway of Blood.
No, Highway of Blood next weekend, where we continue with the exploits of our 70s teenagers as they try to
not get murdered.
flee the away from a pickup truck with a giant harpoon gun in the back.
God help me, my driving skill.
Yes, and likewise, speaking of shout outs, just remember, James does have a con coming here in December. There's signups are already open, I believe. There's going to be GMs can post their games soon enough.
15th of October.
But
15th.
The 15th, but J-Wall is going to be running Numenera during that session. So if you are a Monty Cook Numenera fan, definitely grab that before the spots go quickly. And finally,
I'm going to say, I gather it's an all-paladin Numenera game.
You are not allowed to play anything except paladins. Even in J-Wall's My Little Pony session, it was paladin ponies through and through.
So that's actually should be My Little Paladin.
My Little Paladin, yes. But in the end, lastly, I just want to give a shout, James. Happy birthday! I know it's been a long week and long night for you, but well deserved. All the accolades that you had this week, and I hope that between us and everyone else during these past several days, especially Bud doing the very special video for you. I hope we made your 40th birthday feel special. So.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I think I overdid it though today. That's all. I can't can't do. I think I've done it. I think I've done a bit too.
You're only 39 plus 1 once, so
exactly.
Get over and done with. And just learn not to be able to do it quite as much in the years to come.
Yeah. Or I could do 40 days of gaming.
No.
No.
No. We like you, but not like you.
Right. Keith.
Hey guys, I'm Keith. I'm DM Modoc or DM_Modoc on Twitter. You can find me there with that handle. I am also the chief blogger at rollingboxcars.com. So you can find my reviews, articles there, along with the rest of my team. That is our website. I do the Discords for Rolling Boxcars. I hang out at CORP and, oh God, a whole bunch of Discords. So you can find me across those. James, again, happy birthday, man. I'm glad that everything came together with Bud doing that video. That was fantastic.
Well,
And,
what it shows me is fucking Scott is an absolute fucking madman.
Scott had a few little helpers in that one too.
Oh yeah. There's
That wasn't just Scott. I mean,
No.
there was some other people involved.
Whose birthday's next is what I want to know.
It's not mine.
All right.
Might be yours, Scott.
Yeah, Scott's,
no.
I reckon.
Definitely not mine.
But
Yeah.
But anyways, find me on Twitter at DM_Modoc and everywhere else, and check out our Highway of Blood game next Saturday night, Eastern time.
Yep. As for me, you can find me and everyone else on my Discord, which is there or in the description below. Twitter, yeah, I'm getting better at Twitter. Facebook, just posting when I'm going live. That's it. And YouTube is where all the VODs go. So if you're not watching this on YouTube, go check out YouTube, because there's like over 200 videos that you can check out and watch. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can come watch it live on Twitch. Really sorry, because we were supposed to go for another hour, but I'm absolutely pooped. So yes, so I'm going to say good night, everyone. Thank you for everyone for hung out all day. And thank you for all the donations and the subscriptions and the hanging out and everything. And we will see you tomorrow for Mutant Year Zero. And we have a map of the Ark.
Yes,
We prepared for that to
We
be
do,
unveiled.
and it's a great map.
It's fantastic, and I'm not even playing
It's
that game.
fantabulous, man.
Yes.
Yep.
So, we will see you later. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Night.
Good night.